Since Kentucky first became a state, it had been tied to the river. The manufactured goods we needed came down the river from the northeast, and the products we raised on our farms went on down the river to the south and beyond. But in the last half of the 19th century, that began to change.
Guard, stink pot, spraying their soot and cinders over the whole country. Railroad. I wish they'd never been invented. Now, this is the way the good Lord intended folk to travel. With a paddle wheel churning at your back and the fresh river wind on your face.
Grandpa, you feel like some company?
Well, I declare. Come in, boy. Well, let me look at you. What in the world are you doing in this neck of the woods? I thought you'd be down in New Orleans by now.
Oh, I figured I'd better see what you're up to. How you been, Grandpa? You look like you could lick your weight in wildcats.
Oh, I'm feeling tolerable. Better than I have a right to expect at my age. Oh, sit down, boy, sit down. Well, I'd still like to know what you're doing here in Kentucky when the river witch must be down in New Orleans by now.
How's that rheumatism, Grandpa? Been bothering you much lately?
Oh, nary a twinge in the last month. So what's with the river witch? She in dry dock for repairs?
No, sir. As far as I know, she's tied up at the wharf in New Orleans.
Well, then I don't understand. What are you doing here?
I'm not on the river witch anymore, Grandpa.
Not on the river witch? I don't understand.
I didn't sign on for this trip. I'm staying ashore from now on. I got me a job on the railroad.
The railroad?
Oh, yes, sir. I just caught me the 247 from Lexington. Well, you probably heard her whistle just a couple of minutes ago. Yeah, I signed on as a fireman. I'll be coming through twice a week from now on.
I can't believe it. You give up a job on the riverboat for a job on the railroad? Well, what could possess a man to do a crazy thing like that? Why, your father would turn over in his grave if he ever knew.
I'm sorry, Grandpa, but the river was right for you and for Daddy, but it's not right for me. Not anymore. The riverboats are dying. From now on, it'll be the railroads that move people and carry freight. Why, in 10 years, every important city in Kentucky will be on a railroad line. Well, you'll be able to go from Lexington or Bowling Green to New York City or Washington or Chicago in less time than it takes a river witch to steam from Louisville to Paducah.
It doesn't make sense. You must have been out of your head. To give up a snug berth on the witch for a job on a tea kettle that sputters cinders all over the country, noisy, dirty, smelly things.
Grandpa, times are changing.
Some things don't change. Like respect, for instance. But did you ever see the way those kids would come down to the riverbank to watch the river packet boat go by? Why, it was the most exciting thing in the world for them. They'd stand there with their eyes bugging out. And you know they'd rather be steering that boat than to be president of the United States. That's respect. Well, something you won't find as a railroad fireman. I didn't mean to get all hot and bothered like that. It's just that I was surprised, that's all. How long you planning to stay, boy?
Grandpa, I'd like to ask you to do something for
Have
me.
you had anything to eat? We got a pot of soup beans on the stove.
I'd like you to see what it's like on the railroad. I'd like to take you for a ride in the cab with me.
You want me to ride in one of them?
If you're not scared to.
Scared is a word no riverboat man knows, boy.
Well, here it is, Grandpa. Old 97 raring to go. Mike, I want you to meet my grandpa, Captain Collins. This man's me and Mike Ryan, Grandpa.
Glad to meet you, sir. I understand you're going to be taking a ride with us today.
I reckon I am. Darned if I know why.
Well, climb aboard, so we'll be ready to go.
Plenty of passengers today, eh, Grandpa?
I've seen more passengers on the river packet.
Not lately, you haven't. Let's get the steam up, Colin.
See that warehouse, Grandpa?
Yeah? What about it?
That's a tobacco warehouse. It's the biggest business in this part of the state. Last year it wasn't even here.
That right?
That's right. Anybody wanted to raise tobacco, you had to haul it by wagon 40 miles to market. And I can bring it here and ship it by railroad anywhere in the country.
Don't suppose the farmers mind that too much.
You bet they don't.
This is Colin. More action. Let's off.
Yes, sir. Tipple, Grandpa.
What?
A coal tipple. They can haul coal out of here by train. Coal cars just pull underneath that hopper and fill up.
Didn't know there was any coal mines around here.
There wasn't, so the train came through.
Would you look at those folks? What brings them to a one-horse town like this, do you reckon?
Oh, they're drummers, Grandpa. A traveling salesman for all different kinds of companies. Yeah, they're staying at this big hotel over here.
I thought there'd be a hotel that size down here.
Well, it's here, too. When the trains came, the drummers came with it, man. They had to have a place to stay, so some fellas got together and built a hotel. And there's other new businesses, too. They're talking about restaurants and hardware stores, and they're even talking about putting up a theater.
Things sure are changing fast, I'll give you that.
We don't have time to waste, Collins. Get that pressure up.
Yes, sir. what you said about respect, Grandpa?
What?
What you said about respect. Look at that.
Well, I guess if kids can give their respect to a smoky old tea kettle like this, I can too.
And so, as the new century arrived, trains replaced the cavalry and pointed the way that Kentucky would develop. Next would come the horseless carriage. And people even talked about building flying machines. Someday,